So this is Hot Toys 1/6 scale collectible figure, classic Iron Man. This is something that I've been waiting for a long time. If you collect Hot Toys, you know that Hot Toys doesn't do a lot of comic stuff. It's always licensed stuff. So like if you get Marvel, it's always stuff from the movie. But now they've done a few. They have a Spider-Man coming out. They had an Iron Man like this, but he had plastic coating around him. I thought it was really weird, never got it. But, you know, for me, this is something that brings me back to my childhood. I grew up in the 80s, and one of the first Marvel toys I ever got was Secret Wars Iron Man. I still remember going to Kmart with my mom shopping, and I saw it, and she would get it. And it was this armor, you know, the classic look from the 80s. And it's my favorite look of Iron Man. I prefer kind of like this look than the organic stuff that he gets later, like in the movies and the comics. But so this is through Sideshow. Now, disappointingly, this was released in just 1,500 pieces. So that's not a lot. And I remember being upset about it. I can't believe I got it. I got lucky. I happened just to log into Sideshow one day, and it had just gone on sale. Because they give you the email to remind you, but I hadn't checked my email. So I got lucky. I quickly ordered it, and I missed out on the Stealth Cap. I missed out on the last Wonder Woman. I really hate that they do this, and it's not fair to everybody. So if I can at least show you guys what it looks like if you didn't get it, maybe it'll be enough for you to see what it's like in person. Maybe you won't like it after you see it in person. But anyway, here's the box. And I think it's cool because it does, you know, retro. It's almost like a comic book. You have old Iron Man, you know, classic looking Iron Man flying forward with the Marvel logo. And then this look here, it is die cast. A lot of it's plastic, but you don't see a lot of die cast, but I think it's underneath the body. And I'll show you that in a minute though. But so here's the side of the box. It just, his shoulder kind of wraps around. And then here's the back, you know, all the warnings, you know, UPC, all that good stuff. And then it slides out here with a foam layer. So let me grab that foam layer here and just kind of show you guys what that looks like. It's a really thick box. It's a deep box. So it says the Origins Classic Iron Man. I think it'd be cool if it said the Invincible Iron Man, but that's fine. The Origins Classic Iron Man. And there's actually a Marvel Comics logo on the side with some detail. And then there's a bottom shell. This bottom shell pulls out. It has the base and the roller wheels. If you remember Iron Man from a long time ago, he had roller wheels. And just to show you guys inside here, I've got everything out, but you know, the figure came in here with all the other accessories, additional head sculpt, stuff like that. So that's the box. I'll show you some of the accessories here. I've got them laid out. And this thing takes 12 batteries. 3 for the head, 3 for the chest light up, and then 3 in each forearm for the arc reactors in his hands. So there's 2 different sizes of batteries. The bigger batteries go in the head and the chest, the smaller batteries in the wrists. And when I say they were a pain to install, they were a pain to install. But cool enough, Sideshow or Hot Toys provided you some tweezers to hold the batteries while you put them in place, and even a little screwdriver. I've never had a figure that's given this before. Maybe other Iron Man die-cast figures have that, but this is the first for me. This screwdriver is not as good as the one I use, but it's still cool that they included that, because not everyone has a tiny screwdriver to open up these little compartments for these small little batteries that last 5 minutes to open them. So it's cool they included that. But you'll see here, this piece here is the back armor that opens up for the batteries to go in. This was kind of a pain to take out. It wasn't easy, so I've left it off for now. And then you get a couple hands. So here's one of the hands that if you plug in and light up his wrist, it'll light up the arc reactor. And this thing is set in a way where that goes, you can't tell here, but it goes all the way through. So the light goes through from the wrist really good. And that is held up like he's doing a blast. And then you've got other hands here. If I set my thing down here, these hands kind of have a blue arc reactor, but all the digits are movable, almost like you will with your real fingers. So you can really get some cool posing. He can hold his helmet, stuff like that. with this. So really neat. Nice detail on the hands. So that's pretty cool. And then here's the blast. I'll only give you one blast on the right hand. And I know they're going for a comic book look. And I'm kind of tired of the, you know, the translucent pieces too. So it's nice that it's something different. I just don't know how it works with these black and white lines. It definitely like it's a hand drawn, which I see what they were doing. I'm just not a huge fan. It won't light up when you plug it in and turn it on. It doesn't shoot light through this. So it's just an effect piece. Again, the detail on it's really good. Detailing's really nice, but it's just not something I'm probably going to display him with. But it's cool they included it. Something different. And then here's his roller wheels. Now, this is going back a long time when he had these roller wheels, and they actually roll. But they plug in at the bottom of his feet. So there's a couple, I think, comics and cartoons from like a long time ago where he used these. And, you know, going back to the 60s, roller skating was a big thing, the 70s. So they kind of included that as a way for him to get around besides flying. I won't use these, but it's a cool nod to old school Iron Man. And then you get this head sculpt, which is what's on him in the package. And this is my favorite look. I guess this would be considered Silver Age, I think. I'm not crazy about how Hot Toys decided to do the black lines. This looks more like MCU to me with this side right here. I don't hate it. It's just, I would have preferred just the black line for the mouth. Let me show you, for example, what I'm talking about. I have Mafex Classic Iron Man. And you see the difference there? This Classic Iron Man, I love this Mafex figure. Really awesome figure. So Hot Toys kind of did a Mafex and kind of like got a little flashy with it. Which, I mean, I don't hate it, but I would have preferred if they did just the black line for the mouth on this one. With that said, this neck joint here, you know, moves around. This is magnetic, which is cool. So check this out. That pulls off. There's where the light comes out, and then this detaches. I will turn the light on now, but unfortunately, they made a boo-boo. They didn't paint the back of this or make it black. So when you put this on, it completely bleeds through. You can kind of see it in the camera. So it's really disappointing they did that. I mean, these batteries, we all know, last 5-10 minutes and they die, which is, it's a whole nother issue, but it's disappointing that they didn't paint the back of this mask. It's just plastic, not painted. So you have that bleed through look. But I'll show you the other mask it comes with, which is kind of like the Golden Age Iron Man, like when he first formed the Avengers. So there's that look. And man, that's a cool look. I don't know if you can tell, but his mouth has almost like that Doom look, the Dr. Doom look with the mouth. I mean, that is really awesome. Really cool. Let me turn this light off though, because it looks better without the light because of that bleeding they have. The magnets are great idea, but look at how cool that is. That is awesome. It's so clean. Some people might not like the bright red and yellow. They think maroon and gold with Iron Man. Me, growing up in the 80s, this is exactly what I think. And so for me, this is like major nostalgia. I've wanted a 1/6 scale Iron Man like this for years. So this is so cool they delivered. Then of course you get, you know, your fists, 2 fists, which are detailed really nice. You know, nice fists. So let me pull the figure over. I spent enough time with accessories. I've got him on his stand, and I've got his head. I've got his face sculpt on. So here he is. Let me kind of turn this towards the camera. He's not really looking at you guys, but you get the idea here. So over here on his wrist is where the switch is at, and then this is where the batteries go. 3 little batteries go in there. So if I turn this on, you've got the arc reactor, which is a pretty cool effect. And then on his back, we'll get to everything else in a minute. On his back here is where you unscrew this and 3 big batteries go, and here's the button for it. So if I push the button, did I get it? I did not get it. That button's hard to push. Let's see what we got here. It's not turning on. As I said, it's not easy to get to. There it is. It's just not staying. So there's this. Now this is harder to tell on camera, but it's yellow. The yellow, there's 2 lights up top. There's exhaust ports, you know, up here for the arc reactor, and then the arc reactor. And this is a nice design in the arc reactor. There you can kind of see it. I know it's looking green in the camera, but it's yellow. It's yellow. And then this is actually like an LED, which I wish they kind of matched, but it's not a big deal. I'm not going to have them lit up all the time anyway, so not a big deal. So we turn those back off. They don't die. Well, we'll leave that one on for right now. So here's the Tony Stark head sculpt, and I think this thing is dynamite. You know, it's got the comic book look to it, so it's definitely cartoonish. But again, this is, you know, they're going for a comic book look. So let me kind of put this light here. You can really see. I mean, look at the intensity on those eyes. It's hard to tell here, but those eyes are really glossy. They pick up really good in the light for pictures. Yeah, what an awesome head sculpt. I don't know if I'm gonna display him with it though. You know, I love the classic helmet. But yeah, there's Tony Stark. Now here's the display base. It's not your standard Hot Toys collectible display base. This thing is big. It's, if you happen to have the Batman and Superman 2-pack from Justice League, they kind of have big, wide, bulky bases. This base is bigger than those. So in a Detolf, I think you might be able to get 2 side by side. I haven't measured, but it'll be real close, literally side by side sticking in there. So that's the only disappointing thing about this. I mean, almost like this figure demands its own centerpiece anyway, with nothing next to it. But if you're trying to save space, this is going to be a tight fit for you guys. And another thing I didn't think about until a few minutes ago, this is cool. It's, you know, 3-dimensional. It pops out. As you can see there, it's popped out. But why is it not red and yellow? Like that. It's almost like War Machine colors. Again, not a huge deal, but it just kind of hit me. And it would make so much more sense if that was red and yellow. So that's kind of an odd choice right there. And then this thing, like the gantry or something, it's magnetic. So it stays in the base that way. So you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. It's, you know, it's not painted, it's just black. Kind of dull. I feel like they could have done more with this. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not, but it does just stick right there. Let me take him off the stand now, and I want to do some articulation. Again, he's really heavy because he is die-cast. He has die-cast parts. So, for example, the elbows, there's like an endoskeleton almost underneath all this plastic, and that's where the die-cast is at. You got some on the knees. I mean, this is cold. I can feel it. The back of the legs here, this is die-cast. This piece here, this is all plastic. Everywhere else underneath is metal, die-cast. So he's weighted. He may maybe look a little cheap. Like people say, oh, it's a large Hasbro Legends, which I don't agree with. But you get this thing in hand, you can tell this is not a 12-inch Legends figure for sure. Anyway, so his arms do pull out, and they can drop down and up a little bit, and they butterfly. They butterfly out. So you can get some butterfly effect. You know, you got bicep rotation, arms, you know, elbows go about 90, hands are on a ball joint. If I didn't have this one on, you'd see it. The torso does extend, which I haven't done yet. Oh, there we go. It does extend, and these pieces do move. As you can see, there's quite a bit of a gap there, but it helps you to get some ab crunch forward, you know, if you want, without damaging the paint. These side pieces pull out to allow more rotation, and they even pop off. So if they're too big looking for you, you can go with the smaller one. That's kind of cool. I'm just going to leave mine, but it's cool they give that option. And then the knees bend. They're ratcheting joints, really tight ratcheting, really good. You know, 90 degrees. And then I'll get to the feet in a minute. I'm not crazy about the look if this is for a classic, but there's toes articulation. There's the boots. There's the holes for the wheels to go into. And then, oh, look, when you bend the knee, watch this armor right here. It goes down. You know, one thing Hot Toys is great at is engineering their Hot Toys, Iron Man figures. They're really good at it. And that is so cool how that armor collapses and expands to give you more room. The legs do pull down to give you, you know, and this armor piece pulls up to give you more range. You don't quite get 90, but it's close. But, you know, you can get yourself, you know, some sort of like flight pose going on then. So, I mean, good articulation for a figure that's metal, a die cast. So the feet, let me get to the feet here. If I pull the Mafex guy, it's hard to tell, but you can see the lines in the feet for the Mafex figure, right? Barely. They don't have that for this one. It's just, this is what looks cheap to me. It's just this plastic. And they did it probably to be able to get range of motion. These feet are supposed to pull down too, to give you more range here. I just don't like this plastic piece right here. That's the thing that kind of bothers me the most, but not a huge deal. Again, it's his foot. I'm not going to be focused on looking at his foot when I have him displayed. What I do want to do, though, is kind of show you guys how this armor goes back on to cover up the wrist. So you've got a piece here that snaps into place to cover that up. And then you've got these two pieces right here, which snap on. And it's not the easiest to snap on. Well, I say that and it snapped right on, didn't it? But if I pull this hand off and give him a fist, and we start making him look kind of like he's looking off. Look at that, man. That is awesome. Get him back some. Look at how cool that looks. That looks really good. Oh man. Some people say the head is a little big, and if you put it up next to it, I can see why people say that. It's not too big of a deal for me. But if you see side by side, it's almost like his head is too long. Like it wouldn't fit in the mask. Like his chin would be off. But it's not that bad. I've seen worse. Now, I'm going to pull this head off. And this is, I'm going to do it off camera because it was tough to put on. It was really tough to put the head on, just so you guys know. Yeah, putting the head back on, this is also difficult. In fact, it doesn't want to go on. Bear with me. I should be doing this on camera, but it's too difficult. Okay, there we go. Okay, we got stuff falling down. All right. Sorry about that, guys. That was a waste of your time. But as you can see, you know, these things are not always easy to do with these figures. You gotta be really careful. But so here's what he looks like with this look right here. Yeah, putting that head on is not easy. Putting the head on is not easy. But man, look at that is awesome. That is awesome. It's really, I don't think these pieces are painted, you know, the chest pieces and stuff, but it's really glossy, which could be challenging. Boy, I have a feeling this thing could scratch really easily. So I'm being very careful, but just kind of show you guys some of the detail in this figure here. Yeah, see those ribs, those lines should go down over the entire boot for the classic look. I know it's with articulation why they did it, but I feel like they could have engineered that better, personally. But man, that is one awesome looking figure. If you like comic stuff and comic accurate, and you've been wanting you know, Hot Toys to make a comic accurate figure, this is one to get if you can. I hate that it's limited. I feel bad. I'm glad I got them. I've been hosed out of the last couple that are limited. So, oh, on the top here, this one has this detail, which, again, I don't really need that. I don't know why they did it, but it's there. Not a huge deal. We're putting on the classic mask, the one I grew up with. There's that. So, yeah. I mean, look at... you know, some people, like the Mafex one came with a couple masks. One that you could see his eyes through the slits. And I know in some runs in the comic and cartoon, you could see his eyes. I always prefer just the black lines, which is what this has. Well, they're not black. They're clear, so you can, you know, do the lights, the eyes light up. But it'd be cool if they would give them the option to see the eyes. Because people do like that. And look at the back. Oh, in the back, and this seems more modern too. They have flaps that deploy for when he's flying. And let me get my hands out of the way. If I can get these flaps open. You can see here, these flaps deploy. Again, I don't remember classic Iron Man having flaps like that. Maybe I just don't remember. But in the comics, I don't remember this happening. Cool detail though. There's those black lines going through that as well. Kind of keep that motif going. Yeah, you close that up. Turn this battery off. Battery's hard to turn off. And then back here, this just goes back on. It was really hard to get out. Really easy to put back in though. And now he's covered up. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about this guy other than I hate that it's only run at 1,500. Disappointing Hot Toys did that. I don't know why. Maybe they think this won't sell. I think they're crazy if that's the case. And there was a collector's edition or whatever they call it that came with a suitcase that opens up where you can hold some of his pieces or something, which I didn't get. It said select markets, so apparently the US is not one of those select markets for that, which is too bad. I would have liked to have gotten that, but you know, it is what it is. I have there's actually a picture in the directions. I'll show you guys here what it would have looked like. You know, it's right here. Follow the sequence to open the suitcase. And it looks like you can put like one of his masks in there on the top of the helmet, or the top of the, let's see if I can zoom in better. Yeah, you can put his mask in the top of the head in there. It'd be cool to have him carrying it around though. But then it shows you other stuff, you know, for sharp points, the gantry, how to install the flight stand. And it does have a flight stand, so you want him flying, you can have him up like that. You know, how far you can bend the joints, all that kind of stuff, right? I actually did use the directions for the batteries. One thing I always have a problem with is I always put the batteries in backwards. So you get 3 batteries in, they're wrong. I don't know, it's just on me, I guess. But yeah, it shows you how the batteries go, which way and where. And there's 2 different sizes. The big batteries go in the head and the chest, and the small batteries go in the wrists. There is one more thing it does. And these front pieces come off to reveal the under, I guess. I don't know why it's blue. Maybe in the cartoon it was blue. I don't have any memory of that. But I'm not going to display him this way. But, you know, it pops. I guess kind of like the box art has the blue. Maybe that's why they did that instead of having like metal. Just kind of give it a comic book look. So those pop off and they go back on pretty easy. They just snap into place. There's a peg. So, man, It is a lot of plastic, but I'm telling you right now, this thing, I need to weigh it. It probably weighs a couple pounds easy. It's heavy. A lot of metal and metal die cast in it. So, you know, side by side, if you do have this Mafex figure, if you love classic Iron Man, I suggest that one. It's probably still available on Big Bad. It wasn't cheap, pretty expensive for a 1/12 scale, but cool. You know, he does a landing pose. I don't think the Hot Toys one will do a landing pose. I'm not going to try it. Well, I might try it, but I just haven't yet. But, yeah. So this is Classic Iron Man by Hot Toys. Only $1,500. It's a shame. I hate to see what the aftermarket price is going to be on this guy. I'm never going to sell mine. This is a piece. I'm not going to buy it to sell it. I don't do that kind of stuff. I just enjoy displaying my figures. And here's that Tony Stark head sculpt again. Man, it looks so good. It's like classic Tony. How he looked in the comics for so long. Yeah, really good head sculpt. So I'm up in, I'm not sure if I'm going to display the head sculpt with him holding the helmet. I may have to swap it out. Typically, I use head sculpts because Hot Toys does such a great job with head sculpts. And I never use the helmet these guys come with for Star Wars, whatever it might be. It's always the head being displayed. But I think with this classic Iron Man, I owe it to myself to give this classic look. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Were you able to get this? I hope you could. Again, it's unfortunate, but let me know what you think of this. You know, if you like modern Iron Man, this might not be your cup of tea. If you like me and grew up in the 80s as a kid playing with Secret War stuff and reading 80s Marvel comics, this is like something you would definitely probably really want. So anyways, enjoy the review. I hope you guys do. Let me know what you think.